Kilo 4, November Zulu Delta. It's like a ending in like a New Zealand dollar. Over.
Roger, Roger. November Zulu dog. And where are you located again, Ray?
Yeah, very good, Jim. I'm about 50 miles north of Atlanta. I'm near a small town called Dawsonville. I'm near a small town called Dawsonville, Georgia, in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. About 300 miles south of you, a little bit east. Over.
Roger, Roger, Ray. Well, you must be sitting on top of my Georgia SDR, because you're doing about 30 over there. It may fade out, I don't know, but right now it's good. And I also have you on my local antenna, so that's good also. So, Ray, what radio are you running today, sir?
Ray, what radio are you running today, sir?
Oh, very good, Jim. Yeah, thank you for answering me, first of all. The radio is a FLEX-6400, the signature series, FLEX-6400. Are you listening to the Lumpkin County Schools, SDR?
I'm not real sure. No, it's Atlanta. It's just labeled as Atlanta. Sometimes I do Simmons Island down in Georgia, but this is just Atlanta, Roger.
Simmons Island down in Georgia, but this is just Atlanta, Roger.
Okay, so yeah, you're on one of the Kiwis then, I assume, one of the Kiwi receivers?
Yes, sir. And I've got a really good copy on Georgia. And come back and give me about 10 seconds, and let me go to my local antenna and see if that's better, Roger.
Give me about 10 seconds, and let me go to my local antenna and see if that's better, Roger.
Okay, yeah, very good. But there is QSB. Sometimes it goes down to 5 and 7. My noise floor is at about 6. But anyway, yeah, that Lumpkin County Schools, the one there in Dahlonega, I'm just south of that one, not far at all. And then there's one, anyway, yeah, that's cool. The SDRs are very useful tools. Over.
Yes, sir. I do have a really good copy on my local antenna. That's a no SWR tuned dipole antenna going into a 7300. So I have a really good copy on that. You probably are about 15 over on my local antenna. And what you say that radio is a 6400. If you'd be interested in a setup, it starts with you making sure you're in that wide mode, 100 to 2900.
Yeah, I've got the high cut at 3000, and I've got the low cut flattened out at 0, Jim. Over.
Roger. Well, you know, we try to keep it at 2900 and give us just a slice of grace between we run into somebody else's front yard, you know?
Okay, that's an easy adjustment. I can do that on the fly there. There's a 2900 on the high cut, and the low cut still at 0. Do you want me to bring that up a little bit?
Yes, sir. Go to 100. So you're running 100 to 2900, Roger?
Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's a pretty easy adjustment on this one. I've got it right on the face of the radio. It's just a click of the mouse, Jim. Oh.
Great. Now, to your compressor processor, and we want that just to be running a third. We want it on a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how it's labeled.
Yeah, I've got the processor on. It has, when it's on, it has 3 positions, normal, DX, and DX plus, so it is on, and it's on the very lowest setting, but it is highlighted in the on position, Jim.
Great. Great, that's what we want. Normal position is just fine. Now to your ALC, and set level on your ALC with mic gain in hand as you say the magic word audio, spoken just as you would speak any other word in the QSO. Don't stress it, just say it. And then adjust your mic gain until your ALC meter is running 2/3, Roger.
Okay, very good. Yeah, it might be a little bit hot. I have to back off of the microphone a little bit here. Audio, yeah, it looks like it's a little hot. Let me back it down. Audio, 1, 2. Okay, yeah, I backed it down considerably from 45 down to about 40. Over.
Okay, sir. Now, on the EQ standpoint, you're mainly in the upper mids. You have very limited bottom end, which is, okay. I don't really stress a bunch of bottom, but you could use just a little more bottom end to make you just a tad fuller. If you would be interested, we could go to your EQ page.
Yeah, very good. I've got that pulled up now. I do keep the bass a little bit low, and anyway, so go ahead and make a suggestion, and I'll tweak it as you speak.
All right. Usually, I'll go on. Do you have a parametric EQ?
No, I don't think it's a parametric. I think the parametric means that it's adjustable on the bass line. Is that correct?
Yes, you have adjustable frequency capability.
No, I can't. It's a set frequency. It has 8. It's an 8 band, and it's I can only do the slider. I can't adjust the frequency.
Roger. And also, you would not be able to adjust the width of that, Roger?
Only with the transmit bandwidth.
Yes, sir. I understand. Okay. About 250 cycles. Do you have the capabilities of that?
Yeah, the 250 is just below the baseline at -1.
All right, bring that up to a plus 2 at 250.
Okay, there we go. I think that's plus 2 right there. Yeah, plus 2 on the 250. There you go.
Alrighty, and I'm assuming that your next thing is somewhere looking towards the bottom. From there is about 125 cycles or something like that.
Yeah, I've got a 125, and then below that I've got a 63. Over.
Yes, sir. So we'll just leave that alone, and we're primarily looking at 250. And if you could crank in 3 more clicks boost at 250, Roger.
So do you want it at 3 or 5? I didn't catch that quite.
3 plus 3 from where you are.
Okay, so it was on 2. Let me bring it up. I think you want me to bring it up to 5. There's plus 5 on the 250 range.
Yes, sir. Okay, so everything now from 400 cycles to 1.6K should be flat. We want to keep our mid-range flat, so everything from 400 cycles to 1.5 should be flat. Roger?
Okay, the next 2 adjustments going up are 500, and I did adjust those as you were speaking. I dropped them down. The 500 and the 1,000 are both now out to 0 line. I dropped them down considerably.
Right, and so the next one is 2K. Is that the next one from 1K?
That's correct. I have a 2, a 4, and an 8. Yes, sir.
All right, so on that 2K, that should be very close to flat. Why don't you go ahead and make that flat also?
Okay, I got it jacked up pretty good there. Let me bring it down. Okay, that's flattened out too. The 2K is sitting right on the 0 mark, along with the 500 and the 1,000. Over.
Okay, so the next one is 4K. Is that a Roger?
Yeah, correct, Jim. 4K and then also an 8K. Yeah.
Okay, so the 4K is standing where at the moment?
Oh, it's almost all the way up. Yeah, in fact, it's all the way up.
Okay, so take your 2K up to half the level that your 4K is. So you're coming for a smile as you look at that EQ thing, and you want your full boost on 4K and half boost on 2K. Roger?
Okay, very good. So 2K is at 5 and 4K is at 10. Over.
Roger, and I don't think there'd be much sense in going to 8K. I don't think anybody's going to hear that, but maybe the dogs around, and maybe not even that, because I doubt your radio would pass that. So actually, you might make a note that the ideal frequency for treble boost is 2.7 kilohertz. 2.7 kilohertz, Roger, with the 4. Usually a +7 or something like that, but that's for another day and another radio. But in lieu of not having a 2.7, we're trying to do the best we can with what you got there. So full boost on 4, half boost on 2. Roger?
Yeah, that's exactly correct. That's where I've got it. And remember, I've still got the The 63 and the 125, I've got those things below the 0 mark, so I'm not really getting that smiley face look on the EQ. But anyway, yeah, that 8K, it's probably not very influential on the 4K at all. But yeah, those two are all the way. The 4K and the 8K are all the way up, and the 2K is half throttle.
Roger, Roger. Now, what kind of mic are you running there?
I have the Audio Technica ATR30.
A desk mic, Roger?
Yeah, it's like a studio mic or desk mic, yeah, boom mic, yeah.
And how close are you working that?
Well, I try to keep back off of it a couple, 2 or 3 inches. If I don't, that ALC wants to jump up quite a bit. But I have a tendency to get right up in it. But I try to keep back 2 or 3 inches.
Roger. Sometimes we can play reverse proximity effect and get a little more top end out of it. Why don't you try, just out of curiosity, backing back about 2 inches further back than where you normally run it?
Okay, yeah, there's about 6 inches back. That's definitely settled down the ALC quite a bit. Yeah, it's on a. Are you hearing like a warble in my transmission audio? Caused by my amplifier.
Yes, I am hearing a little. Sounds like an AC ripple. I'm not hearing the tone of an AC ripple, but I am hearing the distortion of that ripple. Roger. Yeah, it's an AL-1500, and it's an intermittent problem. It kind of comes and goes. I've made some modifications to the internals on the amplifier, and it seems to have helped it from time to time. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put the amp on standby and come back with just radio power, over. Yes, sir. Good idea. I'll be listening.
Okay, it was that simple, but that's still just drive power. That's very low power on the radio. There we go. That's all she'll give me. Actually, it's giving me a full 100 watts here, and I'm operating off of a homemade doublet antenna, Jim.
Yes, sir. Okay, I did not hear any distortion. Now go back to your amp and let me listen.
Okay, let me turn this drive down first of all here. Let me put this thing down where it needs to be. It'll trip out. Okay, here, let me get the camera. Yeah, I have to be real careful. It'll kick. Of course, it's no big deal, but yeah. There we go. That's back to. I guess I'm doing about 7, maybe 800 whiskey.
Roger. Now, just out of curiosity, are you taking the reverse feed from the amp back into your radio on your ALC? Are you taking a feed out of your amp back to your radio?
No, negative. I just have the relay switch, and then I'm using the PCT. So no ALC command.
Roger, Roger. I think it sounds fairly clear. It's got more bottom end than it had. It's a little more louder. Your dynamic range has been reduced to about 3 dB, 3.5 dB. So your modulation index is around 80 to 85%, which is nice and loud and clear. That's the main thing.
So you think I should still leave the EQ, the lower half of the 63 and the 125 down below 0 like that?
Oh, yeah. Because, there's really not much there except something that could start tickling your audio, which has already got a little modulation difficulty. Those low frequencies might be what's causing the problem, the subliminal lower frequencies. So I would just leave those just where they are. They're imperceptible as far as being able to actually hear them. I mean, I probably could hear them. I'm running the 7300, which is flat to 100, and I'm monitoring on a monitor system that goes down to 40 cycles. It has a subwoofer, so I probably would hear that more, but it's pleasant the way it is, so there's no reason to jack those up. And we're mainly looking at 200 cycles as the operable cut point. Roger.
Oh, okay, very good. Well, what kind of an antenna are you using up there, Jim?
This is a tuned dipole antenna, a resonant tuned dipole antenna, so it's a max fire to the wire, Roger. No antenna tuner at all, Roger.
Oh, okay, very good, very good. Yeah, like I said, I'm using the homemade doublet antenna, and this is a multiband, and I use a 4-to-1 balun, and I use you got to use a tuner on this one, because it's 450 ohm ladder line feeder. But anyway, it tunes out nice and flat no matter where I go.
Ray, before you go, I'd like a comment.
Go ahead, station.
Thank you, Jim. This is W6KW. Ray, I'd like to move you up either 5 or down 5. I'm on the Dahlonega, Dawson County line. I'd like to say hello.
Okay. W6KW, is that correct?
That's a Roger.
Okay, I'm probably just about finished here with Jim, and we'll certainly do that.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim.
Yes, sir. Ray, I think we got you, sir. If you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do the call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2600. I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger, Roger.
Okay, thanks, Jim. I appreciate all your help, and it's been a pleasure to meet and speak with you. I've heard you doing your thing up there a couple of different times, but you are always awfully busy, and I appreciate you taking the time to work with me, Jim. Thank you very much.
Roger, Ray. 73 that way, sir. And incidentally, I do have a frequency spectrum analyzer on the set that's tied to the output of the 7300, so you can see exactly where you are as far as frequency response. There are some white marks on it. One white mark to the right denotes 100 cycles, and then there are 2 white marks to the let me revise that. There's 1 white mark to the left, which is 100 cycles. There are 2 white marks to the right. The first one is 1 kc, a black space, which is 2 kc, a white mark, which is, the next white mark is 4 kc. Roger?
Okay, and you're referring to some designation on the YouTube, when I look at the YouTube video, is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. It's a spectrum analyzer that I have on set that's looking at your audio. Roger?
Okay, very good. Yeah, I'll certainly go in there and take a look at that. I certainly will. I'm definitely interested. And yeah, this ongoing issue with my AL-1500 is kind of been a little bit of a troubling issue. But anyway, what's funny, Jim, is 90% of the people I talk to don't even recognize, don't even pick it up. I guess it's a frequency thing, I'm assuming, on a receiver.
Roger. It sounds like a distortion in the lower end that's associated with peak. And normally you would think peak distortion would be associated with a mid-range or an upper, but this sounds like a lower frequency. You might check all your diodes, it could be something like that, and your bias, Yeah,
very good. Yeah, I think that bias thing might be part of the problem. I've heard some other people mention, this is an AL-1500 8877 tube, and this thing was made in '91, and it's got the original tube in it still. I've got some other tubes, and they do the same thing. But I overheard a couple of other gentlemen talking just a couple of days ago, and they made mention of the bias causing problems like this.
Roger. Is that a single tube power amp?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, it's one 3CX of 1500.
Roger. Well, I tell you what. Back way off mic. I just want to hear the audio without it being doing anything. Just back off mic so the level really drops down, and I'm going to see if that distortion is there. Roger.
Okay. Did you ask me to back way off of the microphone? Is that what you did? I'm about 6 or maybe almost 8 inches away now. Was that your request?
Yes, sir, and you're still about the same level, so that compressor is working. It should be only about 3 or, just barely. We just want just a touch of it, just a third of it. But that sounded pretty good as far as not having much distortion. It had just a little bit, but not as much as when you really get on it, Roger, when you're really talking, Roger.
Yeah, I'll try to stay back off of it. I have a really bad habit of getting right up in it. I don't know, it's one of those things. I don't know. It's just a habit of mine. But I noticed that, I mentioned this a couple times before, I noticed that the ALC responds much more inside of the envelope that it should be when I'm doing this. And then this has a meter for the compression also. It actually works in the opposite direction as the ALC. And it's just barely coming on. It has 5 little segments, and most generally it barely lights up, and it might just make it to the first of 5 segments from time to time.
You're talking about your ALC meter?
No, I'm talking about a compression meter right below the ALC.
Yes, sir. Well, that's about right for about a third of its capability. We don't want it to really push it. We just want, 3 and a 6 are the same as far as the compression level. But the problem is that when you hit a 6, it starts to suck up between the words. But for actually just working on the word itself, a 3 and a 6 are about the same. So, we're not interested in hearing the, somebody beating the wife, between the words as it sucks up, Roger.
So, besides the wallboard thing, I'm a little bit more intelligible like this?
Yeah, you're thinner, but you have less distortion, and you're more enunciated, so you're more intelligible, Roger?
Oh, very good, very good. And the other station, I think it was Peter. Do you know him, W6KW? Are you familiar with him?
No.
Okay, I think he said to go up 5. I can't remember what he said now.
Up or down, doesn't matter. I've talked to you before, Jim, a couple of times. But anyway, I'm in Dawson County. You want to go down 5?
Yeah, let me just say 73 to Jim here. Hey, Jim, I appreciate all your help, my friend. You're very knowledgeable, and I do appreciate your time, most of all.
Roger, Ray, 73, sir. And that other station, your audio sounds really good.
Yeah, thank you kindly. I get that report all the time. It's a FTDX101 Mike Papa. So thanks for letting me jump in here, Jim. Ray, let's get down 5 to 83, okay?
Okay, here we go. Bye-bye, Jim. Thanks again, and God bless, and have fun with your propagation here today.
Roger, Ray, 73. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.